from. So this time I'm going to do a Q&A video because I haven't done one in quite a while, and I've been receiving many questions from you guys. I've seen them in the comment section on YouTube, on Facebook, and so on. So today I'm going to try to answer to as many questions as possible. So let's begin. Minunata or minunată? Which is correct, Nico? For example, o seară minunată. First of all, it's o seară minunată with and not a at the end of seară, which means something like a wonderful evening or have a wonderful evening. Seara with a at the end has a definite article and can be translated as the evening. But even in that case, you would say seara minunată and not minunata, because this is how you would normally use adjectives after the noun. Adjectives can receive definite articles if they're used before the noun, like for example minunata seară, but this is not a very typical way of using adjectives in colloquial conversations. Another great lesson, but it also generated another question. When showing some of the vowel alternations for dissyllabic nouns, he used the example of fată, which changed to fete, and yet for mama the vowel alternation did not happen. Is there more to the rule controlling when the vowel alternation takes place, or do we simply have to memorize which nouns it applies to? Thanks! Most feminine dissyllabic nouns don't suffer that alternation you're talking about, but there's a great deal of exceptions here, and unfortunately they don't follow a certain pattern, so I would advise you to just learn them as you stumble across such cases. Hi Nico, when can we expect other conjugation types? Greetings from Serbia. Greetings back. I don't know, you guys, I don't have a fixed schedule for my project here on YouTube. Well, I do have a structure what grammar is concerned, but there are many vocabulary lessons and other types of lessons or videos coming in between, which I mostly make at you guys' suggestions. So don't worry, there will be new grammar lessons coming up, so keep on watching. What if I can't roll my R's? You'll have a very cute accent, but other than that, I don't think Romanians will have any troubles understanding you. Great lesson, well done and easy to understand. One question for you. How does a verb like a veghea, to guard, fit into this pattern? It appears to conjugate in a fashion similar to what you showed in this lesson, but not exactly. I've looked at two different online sources, and they have shown it conjugated in two different ways for the noi and voi cases. This confused me. One implied noi vegăm and voi vegați, while the other noi veghem and voi vegheați. Am I confusing things here? Thanks. Man, this verb is a freak and I wonder where you found it. So the main reason why this verb is so special is because it has a vowel before the infinitive ending. FYI, most Romanian verbs have a consonant. And it's not a full vowel, as you'll find in similar cases, but it's actually a semi-vowel that could easily trick you into thinking it's a verb of the second conjugation, just like the verbs a putea, a vrea, a bea, a avea, and so on. But it's a first conjugation verb, it conjugates with an infix, and it's similar to the verb a copia, which also has a vowel before the infinitive ending. Whenever you encounter such situations, the first person plural won't be but am. There are also some other differences from normal first conjugation verbs, but they are not as visible in case of the verb a veghea. So this is how you will conjugate this fella. Eu veghez, tu veghezi, el veghează, noi veghem, voi vegheați, ei veghează. Is nervos really the same as angry? I thought that was spărat. My dictionary even suggests mânios for angry, a word I never heard before, and emoționat means excited, not nervous. First of all, I'm not a native speaker of English, nor am I a qualified translator, so I think it's really good that you guys take my translations with a pinch of salt, but please don't be so stiff, especially in situations like this when the boundaries between word meanings are so flexible. So this is how I, as a native speaker of Romanian, perceive these words. Supărat is upset, but it can also be taken as sad or irritated, etc. Mânios is much more harsh in meaning. It's something like enraged or furious. Nervos is, to English speakers, sort of a false friend because it doesn't really mean nervous like before an exam. That would be emoționat, or you could also hear a Romanian saying the derived form emoții. Again, emoționat can mean excited, but not always in a good sense. However, I don't know, nervos is more like, to me at least, irritated, angry, edgy. Hi, how do you pronounce the special OO? You'll pronounce it something like O. And I'm gonna give you some examples. Cooperare, zoologic, a coordona. However, when you have a word of English origin, you'll pronounce it like a Romanian U. For example, fast food. Nico, thanks so much for the videos. I'm having a difficult time finding resources for the progressive tense, ing in English. Would you consider making a video for this? Thanks again. We don't distinguish between simple tenses and progressive ones in Romanian because Romanian has a different grammar structure. In Romanian there is just one type of present tense and it corresponds both to the present simple and present continuous, and sometimes even to the present perfect and present perfect continuous. But we'll stick to the present simple and present continuous. So a verb like fac can be translated both as I do and I'm doing. There was a word face in one song and I was convinced it means face. This video shows how wrong I was. No, don't be so harsh on yourself. You can have both forms, but they mean different things. So face is the second person singular form and it means you do or you make or you're doing, you're making, whereas face is the third person singular form and it means he does, she does, he's doing, she's doing. So maybe you did hear the right form after all. Could you please explain the use of all of these, if that makes sense? Like, can masculine forms only be used by men and feminine only by women? Also, thank you for posting. By the way, Rachel refers here to the usage of adjectives. So, in linguistics, we distinguish between natural gender and grammatical gender. In Romanian, the grammatical gender largely matches the natural one. Like, for example, man is masculine, woman is feminine, father is masculine, mother is feminine, and so on. But since there are so many notions that don't have a natural gender, like abstract notions or objects, grammatical gender is mostly based on arbitrary assignment. So when I'm talking about masculine, feminine or neuter, I'm actually referring to the grammatical gender and not to the natural one. That is why whenever you use an adjective to describe a noun, your adjective will agree in gender, number and case with the noun you're talking about and not with you as a speaker. Unless you are actually talking about yourself, and in that case you'll use the feminine gender if you're a female and the masculine one if you're a male. Nico, I admit I have not been following the whole thing, but I want you to do something for me. Music, lyrics, Romanian populară or folklore, and musical terms. Things like, take a popular song like Trandafir de la Moldova or Mărioara or Bunei vino Gheorghiuliu, do something like that so I can understand songs better. And perhaps play them myself. Great, I love you. Mucho gracias y mulțumesc. You guys know I'm open to everyone's suggestions and I understand how impatient one can be when studying a new language. Well, I can do a lesson on musical terms, although that is more like special vocabulary rather than basic vocabulary. But guys, please don't ask me to translate stuff for you. I've been doing that for quite a while until it became overwhelming and I started feeling bad about myself for not being able to respond to all requests. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the skills to do that. So here's my advice to you. If you need a translation, just write it in the comment section on YouTube or on my Facebook page, and there's a good chance that someone will see it and will be willing to answer back. And another thing I'd like to ask you, if it's not too much and if you don't mind, please don't use my business email address unless you are having some inquiries about private lessons or some partnership proposals. I would be very appreciative of you sending any sort of non-business or fan mail here on YouTube, in the comment section or on Facebook. Thank you. Okay, I think I should take a break. I really hope this was useful, and if you have further questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you. Bye-bye.